What's up, fight fans? It's your boy P. Welsh here, bringing to you another UFC picks, previews, and predictions. We got UFC Fight Night from the Apex. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez against Roman Dolidze, coming off a nice rebound week, 11-1, and yeah, look at what the UFC has scheduled for us this week. So over the tap page, starting us off here with Cody Brundage versus Eric McConaughey. I think this was scheduled for 1 week, 1 week ago. Brundage sitting 31 years old. Man, where's the stuff? 11-6-1. He's got a couple no contests in there recently. McConaughey 9-3, coming off a loss. And yeah, I don't really know what to think. Brundage opened up as an underdog, got bet up to a big favorite, and I mean, I understand why. That makes sense. I mean, there's just no faith in McConaughey here. That being said, I mean, he looked okay for a little bit against Nursulioin before he got finished, but I mean, that's what we wanted Ruzaboyev to get, but for middleweight too, having that extra punch. It took him a while to get that though. I think this actually could be a lot closer than I'm picking Brundage for sure. Definitely the official pick is Brundage. But I think McConaughey can actually make this a dogfight. I think this one actually gets. I think these first two fights are a little boring. I think we expect this one to be a little bit more exciting, but I think both guys will just gonna come in there, gas out a little bit at the end, and kind of struggle to get to the finish line. I think we see Brundage come out strong early. McConaughey survive. McConaughey look good in round 2, and then both these guys just straight fade round 3, greasy split decision coming in. I don't know. I mean, it'd be tough. It's just tough off a week, to see how great of shape these guys are in. Trying to see if these were rebooked from if they're like. I don't even think any of these guys were scheduled. So just a little bit of an odd situation that we have here. So official pick is Brundage. Other than that, like I said, I think it's going to be greasy. I think it's going to be split decision. I think both these guys gas out, maybe a late third finish. But, yeah, Brundage is the pick. Next up, we got Gabriela Fernandez against Julia Starolenko. Hernandez, minus 400 favor, sitting at 10-3 against Starolenko, 11-8-1. Plus 310, 32 years versus 31. 1 inch reach advantage, 1 inch on the height, 3 inch on the reach for Starolenko. And yeah, this is first round Starolenko armbar or Fernandez, KO. But I don't think it's that. I think it's a little bit closer than that. I mean, I think you might have seen Fernandez peak against somebody that people play up to their competition and fight towards who they're fighting against. I think Gabriela Fernandez is a beast. I'm not trying to take anything away from her, but I just think her running through Kong Wang, that I think she caught her and it got finished, right? Like, it does mark a great fighter, and it's just how often are those moments able to be repeated? Now, if there's a person that tests that theory against, it is definitely Julia Starolenko, because if there's somebody that can get finished in the second and third round, it's her. I think Gabriella has to survive the first round, which I think she's really solid on her feet and with her kickboxing to negate the distance for Starolenko. But I see this fight going a little bit longer. I like Fernandez by decision, maybe. Fernandez in the third. I do think she could get a KO. I don't think she gets a submission. I do definitely it's just one of these fights I think is a lot closer than people might feel. And despite her finishing Kong Wang last time, she has been to some decisions before that with some good fighters. And I think Starolenko could at least contest, make her tired, fatigue her potentially. I don't know. I mean, this is Fernandez spot all day. We're picking her. But I do think it goes a little bit later. That's the kind of how I preview these first two fights. I don't think I don't know. I just think the fireworks come in a little later. The way they kind of set up this card. I have they want to see Fernandez get the finish for sure. I just think Starolenko could present just kind of more like the thing about Wang is she is like a little bit more compact, and Fernandez is actually a little bit like she was stockier than her, right? Like Starolenko is a little bit lengthier than her. So let's see how that matches up. Sometimes always a little bit of a factor. All right, next up, baby, you're a firework. If you watch my videos, my first ever lock of the week was Uros Medic against Paulino Soriano, and he lost, and I never did one again. So he's back now against Gilbert Urbina. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, what do we got here? Medic 3-2 in his last fight, coming off that loss I just mentioned. Urbina, 29 years old, 2-3 in his last 5. And yeah, this is Medic KO redemption spot. He needs it. We're on it. I don't think Gilbert Urbina is. I think he's a solid fighter. I just don't think he's just. This is a guy that's a 165er. I truly think like there's a. I think this fight. This is my thing. It was like I think some guys are welterweights and I think some guys are 165ers. And I think Gilbert Urbina is a 165 guy caught in the welterweight division. He just doesn't do good against the big guys. Battle, Radke. That now the good thing is, Medic isn't that big. He's a little lengthier. He's very powerful, stocky, but he's not necessarily gigantic for the division. So I mean, that's where like Gilbert could have a little bit of a length disparity, but Medic is gonna have the balls to bite down on that shit on that mouth guard and kind of take one to get one and put him out. This one I could feel really wrong about, just because Medic does get finished, and if he gets caught, it could be over fast. I kind of like him to rebound in round 1, but I'm also very hesitant about like, dude, my guy is not as unblemished, as unlockable, as lockable as I gave him the first time, and like I said, Urbina's can give him a little bit of a distance challenge for a while. I think this can go a little bit longer than. I mean, it's not to me. This is a Gilbert Urbina gut check fight. It's like, what is Gilbert gonna bring here, dude? Because you're gonna go out like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And like I said, Medic sometimes takes some time to get going. He's like not necessarily a first round finish guy. Only got 2. They'll come all earlier in his career. Recently, the only one is Tim Means. So GG's on Tim Means. Official pick is Medic. I think we see some cracks here. I think he comes back with especially the small octagon. I think he walks him. I think he just kind of. I think he's gonna get him with the kicks. I think he's gonna do a lot of damage to the body, and he's gonna open him up for something late. Surgical called the Doctor. Uros the Doctor. Next up. Fight I like a lot. Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Edwards 15-6, 3-2 in her last 5 against Cachoeira 13-6, 3-2 in her last 5. Moderate favorite for her. 5'8" versus 5'7", 5-inch on the reach advantage for Edwards here, and yeah, I'm on Edwards all day here. I think she's a really solid fighter. I think she's really improved. I think her game is super technical. She's only 29 years old. I think she has a lot. Now, if you think about it like this, nobody watches a lot of these fights. Elaine Perez is a beast. She beat Nora Cornhole. Besides that, she'd be on and then she's fought a lot of people. Carol Rosa, Jessica Rose Clark, Pudalava, So I think Jocelyn here is actually, I like her by submission here. I think where she really looks the biggest favorite against Priscilla is on the ground. I think it will be a nice contested fight for 3, 4, 5 minutes, but I think Edwards, once she's able to establish some damage, she's going to work that takedown, and I think at some point, I think Cachoeira has negative ground game, 4 submission losses on her record, and that's all you got to know to kind of take your chance for this fight. I just think at some point, if Edwards, okay, it's like, yeah, it could go to decision. Is Edwards gonna? That's like it goes to the decision by Edwards not taking her down. Edwards takes her down 3 times and has 10 minutes to work. I don't see how she doesn't get a submission finish, unless Priscilla just literally gives up her face and doesn't get choked out, which she's never been knocked out. So I feel like the ladies are probably maybe snatch the neck a little bit, keep the face pretty. I don't know. That's where I'm kind of. But I think Edwards is a beast, and that's why I like her by submission, because I just think at some point she'll get mount. I think an arm bar is live. I think an arm triangle is live. I think a front guillotine is live. I think Priscilla could get caught so hard she just panics. I think we can see that maybe a couple times. I have it maybe another prediction like that. but I like a neck to get snatched in here. I like a limb to get eaten up here by Edwards by submission. Let's go, baby. Next up, Elijah Smith versus Toshomi Kazama. Smith 8-1, 5 in a row. Heavy favorite against Tozawa 2-3. And yeah, I mean, I think this has to be Elijah Smith first round KO. That's what I'm kind of going with. I think that's, if this makes it to the second round, I'd be kind of surprised. I just don't think. Man, the fact that Kazawa beat Grigiow is crazy. That just proves how little that guy is. That's a guy. No, it's somebody else that I'm thinking about. Yeah, so I don't even know who that is. So yeah, let's is that a fight? So we're all over my guy Smith here. I think first round finish is very possible. Yeah, does have a second round finish loss on his record for one of those KOs, but it was 6 seconds into the second round. I think Smith is just going to come on there with a pace and just, I think he's a better athlete, and I think he's a better puncher, and I think he's got a better chin, and I think he just won't want to take it too long. That's kind of the pick here. I can't really, I don't really want to pick Edwards in the second. I can't see this fight going to the corner. Like, that's sometimes I like to predict what the fight's going to do. It's like, can I see these guys sitting on the bench? Absolutely not. I can't see my guy Kasami sitting on the corner going ready out for round 2. So I really think this one more than the Medic fight, first round, 100%. I think Medic just might be second round, but I think Elijah Smith, like when you see this, like I could see Kasami not going back to the bench to come back for a second round, right? 5 minutes is a long time, and let's see what happens here. I'm on Smith all day here, probably one of the bigger favorites on the card. Let's go, baby. Next up, dude, this is a juicer card here. We got Juicebox Julius Walker versus Rafael Sakaria. Walker, 4-1, lost to Menefield. Huge favorite against heavy dog Rafael Sakaria. 2 first-round KO losses in his 2 UFC fights. And do we see a third one here? Potentially. I do think this is one fight that I think I was paying attention to some of the odds. This one got bet up a little bit to the second round. So I think 1-2, but I think Sakaria could be out there in one punch as well. I think the test against Menefield is a certified good one for a younger fighter. I mean, he's only 26. I thought he was older than that. But, Menefield's a certified gangster. You got to, learn how to push a pace against a brick wall, right? And I think Julius learned a big lesson there. I think he walks through Sakaria. And the only reason this might make the second round is let's see if Herzog's the ref. But I think my guy could get folded. The fact that, Aslan can knock you out in 50 seconds and Modestas Bakauskas, now this is not the, I remember picking that fight. I picked against Sakaria, so I think, I don't think Modestas is that good either. I thought he got gifted a win against Kudilaba too, so I like Julius Juicebox Walker. I do think this can go second round, first or second. I think that would be the official play, just because I could see Sakaria looking in there. I could see Julius just not knowing how to hunt that finish right away, how to game plan, work the body, right? That's what I'm kind of a little bit worried about in terms of him, banking on him get the first round finish. I actually think it was -110 to +110, so that scares me a little bit. That I think enough people are willing to bet on the second round with the juice because it's only 5 minutes, and sometimes it's that a lot of times, too, I see is the break, adjustment, to finish. That's what good fighters do as well. The first round, they're getting in there, they take a breath, they get a little bit of instruction, and they go back out there and they square up. And if the other person is not, because the other person, after 5 minutes, is not as fresh as the fresher fighter, right? How even is somebody usually wins the first round, right? The better fighter that wins the first round handedly makes an adjustment and works the second round finish. I think that's a big part of UFC that we don't talk about, and that's where I think this fight may end up, right? It might be the adjustment after coming in there. and he lands a big one. He lands a body shot and then goes up top and then closes lines him. Literally could be 30 seconds into the second round. But yeah, keep that alive. I think you give Julius Walker that extra 2.5. I even think under the 1.5 is enough. I think he gets it done under 7.5. But I do think he might need the extra 2.5 minutes though. Let's go juice box, baby. Next up, ya boy, Eric Anders versus Christian CLD Leroy Duncan. Middleweight bout here. Real estate agent, ya boy Anders, 17-8, 3-2 in his last 5. Heavy underdog against CDL. 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a win. 8 years difference, 1 inch on the height, 4 inches on the reach. And yeah. Loss in there for Duncan is to RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez. Recent loss, win over Weidman, loss to Barry out. And the only thing about you got to worry about your boy is getting knocked down here. My thing is, does CDL push the pace to even knock him down, or does he just punch him like a bag for 15 minutes? This is like I know a lot of people, and at this price tag, I don't like betting on CDL, but I think at some point he's just such a clear favorite that you have to try and figure out how he's going to chalk this one up. And I've also recently saying when the props are plus 100 even, it scares me. And so I think CDL could be live for the KO here, just because if he just drops Anders in a bad spot and just stands over him, I just think it's over, right? Like, if you're getting dropped by Jamie Pickett, if you're getting dropped by Jamie or Chris Weidman, I just think unless Leroy Duncan doesn't, he punches from his heels and just doesn't do anything, I just can't imagine him not beating Anders. My thing with this is Anders doesn't get finished a lot. He's only got 2 finishes in his career and 6 decision losses, and I just think that's where this fight ends up sitting down. I think you get some clinches in there. And I think Duncan late stinks as a fighter. Like, I don't think Duncan turns it on in the 3rd round where he's just going to find the gas tank and explode where you think he's going to win. When he's beating people, it's freaking Claudio Ribeiro, Dennis Tulaloon. Like, these guys are freaking, pin cushions to fight against. The guys that are actually decent, Puliev too, like he didn't do anything against Puliev, and he rallied to get that Puliev. I don't know how to feel about him. RoboCop losing to Petrosian, like I could just see this going way too long as a competitive fight, right? Now, and I can't see Anders taking him down. This comes down to all clinch work, control time, and how much heart does Duncan have. So I like Duncan by decision here. I think this is a greasy judges scoring card. I think you'll see 29-28, 29-28, both guys, and then somebody will give it 30-27 Duncan, and you're going to be like, how is that a split decision with that with one guy being like that? Yeah, I'm going to probably hedge somewhere Duncan to knock out Anders just because I worry about the one shot on the chin, but like, dude, I have no faith in Duncan to rise up to the occasion in the Apex to get a finish here, right? Same thing. Like, that's another thing I kind of worry about is like his performances they're all fight nights, and right, the one time he hasn't been on a big stage in a while either, and he lost to RoboCop. So like, I don't know, maybe he was nervous. Like, this is another fight mentality where guys just might feel more comfortable in the Apex. So, and I think that's what he kind of does. I think he likes it as like just an advanced sparring session with somebody that he's just going to beat over 3 rounds and point him to death, go collect a paycheck and go home. Right? Easiest fight for the most amount of money you can find. And yeah, that's what I think CDL is doing here. I got CDL by decision. But let's go, ya boy. Rooting for the upset. Eat. Let's go, baby. Next up, we got, what is this? A bantamweight fight? Bantamweight? Miles John versus Gene Matsumoto. Bro, what am I tripping here? 135 bantamweight. Yeah. Miles John, 15-3 against Gene Matsumoto, 16-1. Both guys coming off a loss. Miles John, underdog here. And I don't get it. I do get it, but I don't get it. I guess people just don't want to bet on Miles John. That's what it comes down to, right? People just don't trust him. And the way that this fight shakes out, it's going to the scorecard, right? Like, unless I can't see his neck getting snatched up, it's not like Matsumoto has this elite grappling game, right? And if Johns can hold him up on the feet and just kind of similar game plan, stuff some takedowns a little bit, use that jiu-jitsu, it kind of is like a little bit of just like he's a lower level Robbie Font until he proves to be better or more experienced, less experienced Robbie Font, not even lower level, because I do think Johns is hella talented. I think he's super athletic, and I think so is Matsumoto. The thing that worries about Matsumoto is I just don't know how like technical he is, right? I just think he's one of these lighter guys. Just it's kind of like the smothering technique. Good on the hands. Let's see how he develops, but I can't see him touching the chin too much, working the body of Miles John to really like win there. Another one I could kind of see an upset happening here. I don't know if I got the stones to put any money on Miles John though, because I do think Matsumoto by decision is probably what's going to happen, just because of at any point when Johns tries to open up the hands, Matsumoto is going to be open there for a takedown, and I do think he's explosive enough to work a single leg, double leg, and get the takedown enough to really negate what Miles John can do on the feet. He can just take enough 30 seconds to a minute, and I think his squeeze is good enough there. And I just one thing I wonder is. Nah, I don't think it's a problem. I thought Felipe Lima was a lot bigger, but I just don't think I mean, the guys Miles John beats are not that, Douglas Silva de Andrade, Cody Gibson, no contest against Dan Argueta. I don't even remember, why was that a no contest? Did he test positive for fight result, no contest positive for, yeah, so he was HGHing. Vince Morales lost to John Castaneda, lost to Mario Batista. Like, this is a prove-it spot for Miles John. So I get why nobody wants to put their hard-earned money on Miles John. I get Matsumoto by decision being a little chalky here, minus 120, but it definitely seems like an absolute 15 minutes of another high. This seems more like high-level sparring or like fight, but I just don't think the style is really that good for these guys' matchups against one another. I would like to see these guys fight other people potentially, but I would have liked one of these guys to go fight Urseg, but I don't think they need to feed Urseg a nice win. He needs a little confidence, so I get this. Yeah, Matsumoto by decision. I just think he just probably gets 10 minutes of control time. He probably gets 3 takedowns, and he's good. He's all right, good enough on the feet to just win, to just keep it neutral to win there. Let's go, baby. Next up, we got a featherweight fight that probably should be a bantamweight. We got Andre Touchy-Feely versus Christian C-Rod Rodriguez. Touchy-Feely 2-3 in his last 5. Slight underdog against C-Rod 3-2 in his last 5. Moderate favorite. 8-year to the senior is Feely. 4-inch on the height. 2.5-inch on the reach. And yeah. If you have any confidence in Andre Touchy-Feely in this matchup, because I definitely don't. The thing is, Christian's a bantamweight fighting at featherweight. That's what scares me. So I'm like leaning towards decision here. But like that also being said, I think the extra weight could be good to just handle Feely in case, like with the hands, do a little bit more damage. And if Feely, the thing with Andre Feely is he makes mistakes in the octagon. Like, there's no doubt. You don't lose 12 times in the UFC and get finished 8 times if you don't make mistakes in the octagon, right? Finish 7, excuse me. So, that being said, like, he walked into the guillotine choke. I think if you do that against C-Rod, he's way better grappler than Mel Costa. So, I remember that Dan Ige, like, I don't even think he beat Cub Swanson. I actually thought he lost that fight. I could have sworn in a freaking Mandela effect universe that Cub Swanson won that fight. And I don't know what I remember. Yeah, dude, I could have sworn literally in an alternate universe that Cub Swanson won that fight with his children in the stands. But yeah, I mean, Lucas Almeida, Billaglio, like, he don't beat nobody, bro. So it's got to be C-Rod. I think C-Rod could snatch a neck here. It's a sneaky pick, but C-Rod by points, I'm not so confident in just because, again, I don't have confidence in Feely not making a mistake, getting rocked, somehow shooting a takedown, and just getting guillotined. I don't know. And then in panicking and like front mounted guillotine for C-Rod. I don't know. I have to play it somehow, some way, because I do think it's 4 submission wins. Again, the weight is one of the things. I don't think it's a KO. I definitely think it's it could be a boring decision as well. I do think that, but I do think he really has more to present against. Like, I think he's going to take him down. I think this is I think C-Rod, his game reminds me of Alex Hernandez, but at bantam/featherweight. I think he's decent on his hands. Will probably just take you down. Can't really work a submission, but they'll snatch one if you make a mistake and give it to him. So yeah, C-Rod all day on the pick. I think it's easy. 3 ways to Sunday, decision, submission are on the cards. But yeah, touchy-feely will probably just stand there. I think it'd be a little later. But you never know. All it takes is one mistake, dude. You get leg kick, chop, thrown overhand right, stumble. It can get done fast. So that's why I think the submission is live, because I don't think Feely's one of those guys to like lose for that long. I think he's pretty good over minutes and just lose more of like those. Next up, we got a women's fight here. Yasmin Lucindo versus Angela Hill. Lucindo 17-6, 4-1 in her last 5, coming off a loss to Lemos. And we got Angela Hill 3-2. Slight underdog, 40 years old, 17-year age difference is kind of insane here. And yeah, I wanted to find a way to like believe in Hill here. I think she's just a trendy, like older pick has been going on. And I understand why that's happened. Like, you got like a lot of older fighters winning recently against younger fighters, and I don't think Angela Hill, I think she can pull the anti-card here. The thing is, I also can see her laying an egg. It's just one I can't. This is a straight pass for me, because like Lucindo is on a prove it thing. Like, what she did was got dominated by Lemos, and I think if Angela Hill literally has that same game plan, she wins. So that's why like I really get why she can get that auntie card in there and just freaking mount up, because like if you also look at Angela Hill's other losses, they're probably wins, right? And if you look at Lucindo's wins, I don't think they're the same. Like they're like Denise Gomes is a big ass win. Luana Pinheiro, big ass win. Tabitha Ricci, I thought she won that fight too. Mackenzie Dern, close fight. Emily Ducati, good fight. Beat against Lupi. Fought against Yonderoba. Fought against Lemos. Like, she has just absolutely fought so many people that I don't think this fight really scares her. And that's why I know a lot of people are on her. A lot of people are picking her. Man, this one I'm going back and forth with, because it's kind of the same thing. I think I was on Lucindo when I started the video, and as I break this down, I'm not sold on her wins, right? Polyana Venya, Carolina Kolareski, Marina Rodriguez. Like, first, she lost to Yasmin Hugari, who's, I think, a very good fighter, better than the one she beat. So every fighter that she lost to, she deserves to lose to, and every fighter she beat, I think if they fought Angela Hill, would get finished. So going Angela Hill here. I reversed on myself. I'm everybody on the bandwagon. Auntie Angela coming up with the big underdog win here. I just struggle to find Lucindo dominating Angela Hill for that long. Now, maybe the speed, we all underestimate the speed and the technical ability and the rebound, but like, I'm also really weary about these underaged, like, I don't know, man, the 17 years, just all those rounds. Like, when she, like, if you did minus, like, she's 6 versus Angela Hill's 23, and she's been training since then. So that's where I kind of bring down my math at this point with picking Hill. I know her number's way less. I didn't update the odds a couple days later. But yeah, let's just pick Angela Hill. I think she likes aliens too, so we're in. Next up, the co-main event. We got Steve Astro Boy Urseg versus Ode Osborne. Astro Boy 2-3, coming off those 3 straight losses to the belt contenders, and Ode Osborne 2-3. in his last 5, plus 300 favorite, 3 years older, 1 inch height. Wow, 5 inches on the reach for Osborne. I think a lot of people expect Urseg to struggle with that, and I don't see it. I don't see it, man. I don't see Ode Osborne. I'm trying to remember this Luis Gurriel fight, and I'm trying to remember if he made weight because. But yeah, that's the last guy. Yeah. It's freaking Steve Urseg all day. I got Steve Urseg by KO. Now this fight is at bantamweight, right? So I was wondering how that would play out. I was like, Osborne have a little bit more on the chin, but I think Urseg may have a little bit more in the juice tank too, to with that power behind him and not be so gassed. I think that's actually one thing that he might have struggled with in those making the true 125 weight cuts for at least the one fight, and then not he's fighting good ass fighters. So I think this is I like Urseg by KO. I think this is one spot. I think it's a super undervalued. A lot of people like him by submission, and I get it. His ground game is really good, and Osborne has been there. But my thing about like picking on the decision in a spot like this is, I also think if Ursay gets him to the ground, I'm not sure his submission game is that good, but I could see him finishing him with a ground and pound. Like, I doubt a club and sub is that obvious for Steve Ursay, because I think Osborne is like when he's losing, he's not losing like that, right? He's losing over a matriculation and guys that can really work. I mean, you say that, but Almabayev working a real naked choke, but he's got great ground and pound game, right? Hafez Filio can snatch a neck. So I just think Ursig hits him with something crazy, bro. I think he gets him with like a spinning elbow. Could be late, second, third round. I think he knocks him down. Couple club fists, boxes him up, a little 1-2, real compact, gets inside that distance and knocks it. Rock'em sock'em robot. Steve Ursig. Rebound KO win. We're seeing that, right? When you're picturing, when you think about like these fights, what do you think is gonna happen? You can't see Ode Osborne on the mic, bro. You Steve Urseg, pumped up, redemption after 3 losses, KO win, 50K bonus, heading into the main event. Let's go. Main event: Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Dolidze 15-3, 3-2 in his last 5. Fluffy Hernandez 5-0 on a roll here. And boy oh boy, what a main event here. I think what happens here is Dolidze's very solid for 10, 12 minutes, but after that, I don't think he can last. That's kind of my problem, right? Like when you think about him dancing against Anthony Smith in that 3-round fight because he's been piecing him up. When you think about Kevin Holland resigning from a rib injury, when you think of Vettori, they just stood and exchanged, right? He lost to Imavov, and I don't see. I get the respect for Dolidze, and I think he does make it. But I think he gets purely dominated, and I can see a 4th, 5th round stoppage here for Smith. I just think at some point. Not Smith. I called him Anthony Smith. Anthony Hernandez. Revenge of the Tonys at this point. But I think Fluffy Hernandez is on a pace and a level that is very hard to keep up with. I think he'll fight for the belt. Now, is he going to be able to conquer? It just depends on who his opponent is that day, I believe. But I think he has all the tools and the makings of a champion, and I don't feel the same way about Dolidze. I think Roman Dolidze is a very good fighter. I think he's got very good stand-up game. I think he's got super underrated grappling game. I think he's got high-level jiu-jitsu where I don't think Hernandez will just be able to walk through him. But I think Fluffy will work half guard, will work some nasty elbows, and we'll do a lot of body shots, man. I think he'll hold those positions. You'll see a lot of locks in there. You'll see some elbows to the body. I think you'll see a lot of control time early. I think you'll see a lot of wear on Dolidze. I think he'll be able to get up at some points, but I just don't think he'll have the same explosiveness. I just think over the course of 25 minutes. I just think Hernandez wins. I like Hernandez in 4th, 5th, 6th. This is another one of those spots that I saw the odds change quite a bit. I like they have alternate odds, so you pick a fighter to win in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round by finish, or 4th, 5th, or decision. And they were a lot closer when I initially was looking at the picks, and it was really spread out. So I do think it could land somewhere in those championship rounds in the finish. I I think that's where it really lands. I think Dolidze is very solid. I think it could go 4. I do think it's the 4th. I think it's the 4th. I really do. And if it's not, it's fluffy by decision, 49-46, 50-45, and Dolidze's going to make it close. He's going to make it gritty, but I just think the level that is just too much to overcome for somebody that, hasn't, against guys that Imavov and 37. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's got great ability. I think this is just one of the matchups that there's a reason Anthony Fluffy Hernandez is, bro. I think a lot of people are super high on him, and we have been ever since that Kopolov fight. He changed. Not saying he hadn't been, but hit the wrong. I know I probably should have. I just wasn't familiar with his game before that, and I'm sorry, Anthony. So yeah, let's go, baby. I just think he's been on a train, bro. Some of these guys just don't stop. He's gonna have to do. Dolidze's gonna have to get some nasty ass kicks to the body. Like, he's got to do knees, teep kicks to the front, be able to pace with the jab, move left, move right, attack the middle. Right, that's how you He's gonna have to have an exceptional game. Dolidze's gonna have the fight of his life to beat Hernandez. I think Hernandez has to have a great day at the office, and he's gonna run through this guy. Do a quick recap here. I'm excited for this fight card. 11-1 on the rebound week after a tough week. Let's see if we can hopefully have some good picks. We're going to try and gamble a little bit on the round robins again. We're going to start off with Brundage by decision. I got Gabriel Fernandez, late finisher decision. Medic, 2nd round finish. I like Jocelyn Edwards, submission. Elijah Smith, 1st round KO. Julius Juicebox Walker, 2nd round KO. Leroy Duncan, decision. Matsumoto, decision. Rodriguez, submission decision. Angela Hill, I like C. Verse, KO, and Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, 4-5 or decision. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you made it this far. Leave your comments. Give all your picks for winners in the comments section. If you get them all right, I'll send you $100. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, your friends, your family. Peace and love, everybody.